How things have changed. This is going to be a powerful presentation that's going to absolutely change the way leaders lead their organizations. Let me just say, since World War II, there's never been a greater demand put upon leaders to lead their organizations out of COVID disruption. This presentation will be a solution to that leadership challenge. Briefly introduce several members of our team. Dr. Ernesto Olascoga is the founder of Grupo Vision Global and is deemed as an expert in organizational transformation, working, as you can see, with some of the largest companies in Mexico and the United States. George Labovitz, an expert in organizational alignment, is also a professor emeritus of management at Boston University, author of 4 best-selling business books, and has worked with the United States Navy as the consultant to the Chief of Naval Operations for over 5 years. And lastly, Stanley Labovitz, myself, has been a diagnostic analyst and expert for the last 24 years, dealing in business consulting and organizational alignment, working with some of the largest companies in the United States. Also the co-author of Back from the Brink. I'll start this presentation by describing our involvement with an organization of 16,000 people that had a demand to increase sales volumes. Based on the COVID-19 impact, they've been experiencing loss of sales and loss of customers. Let's start by talking about leaders. I just finished a book called Great Leaders by David Rubenstein that depicted the traits and strengths of 30 different leaders. What was interesting was there was not one single common denominator for any of those great leaders. But there is a single common denominator for a successful leader. Now that's situational awareness. And this is what we are presenting to this audience today. We have created a very powerful 3-tier methodology to bring your organization out of disruption. It's a framework, it's an amazing diagnostic, and it's a brand new technology called Pulse 4. Let's see what this is all about. First comes the framework. Over the years, there's been a million frameworks, including things like the Covey 7 Habits, McKinsey 7S Model, Baldrige, and so many more. The one thing we did learn through all of our experiences that when you create a diagnostic or a survey, if it is not tied to a framework, you're going to be creating more dysfunction within your organization than if you selected a framework. Now, we selected the alignment framework. Why was that? After 30 years of research from Harvard Business School, it was concluded that aligned organizations outperform misaligned organizations by every financial measure. That's the only framework that will make that representation pertaining to financial measure. Now that's done by the analysis of 6 key business systems that are nested within every single organization. So let's take a look and see what this is all about. This is a picture of the alignment framework. It consists of strategy to people, process to customers, leadership and culture. A very simple model, but the power of this alignment model comes to life when each of these different components work in concert with each other to produce an organization that's well-oiled, efficient, and effective. Well, let's see how this works. I read in the paper the other day that Amazon controls 38% of the global market share. Commerce. Apple controls 58% of smartphones. Now that doesn't happen by accident. So I also read in that same article that I quote, if you can clearly visualize what your customers really crave, it will force you to think clearly about the idea. So when leaders formulate their strategies, they must understand what their customers crave, need, or want on a continuing basis. as customer demands change and requirements change. Those strategies need then to be deployed to the people because they're the ones that execute and deliver the services to the customer. Of course, we have to have excellent processes that deliver to the customer each and every time upon what they need and what they demand. The people in the organization have to know how to please their customers. They need to be trained and skilled with digital transformation or technologies in order to meet their customer requirements. If leaders have an up-to-date pulse on what customers care about the most or crave the most as they change, strategies will change. And when those strategies change, processes must rapidly change as well. When all of these components work, they work because of leadership and they work because of culture. The beauty about the alignment framework is that it provides a roadmap based on solid principles, researched principles from Harvard Business School that form the building blocks of any enterprise. This is one example of the impact of the alignment framework where Dr. Labovitz used the alignment process in which the Navy returned $3 billion back to the U.S. Treasury for 4 to 5 consecutive years. Here's another impact of the alignment methodology. And look at the last line. This organization improved in less than 12 months, 4% in increases in efficiency, effectiveness, and revenue, and brought to the top line $4.6 million. That's pretty impressive. So now that we have the framework, how do we work with a client? Well, let's go back to my client that needed to increase their sales volume. So sitting down around the table, I asked them, I said, tell me, why have you lost sales volume? What's going on in the economy in your organization? And of course, I knew about COVID, but I asked them, I said, are your customer buying habits changing? How about your salespeople? Do they need new training models? Is the marketing effective? How about your competition? What's going on with that? They didn't have a clue to the answer of either of those four, any of those four. Then I asked them about corporate strategies. Are they antiquated? Are they no longer keeping up with what customers care about? Is processes broken? Are we now becoming more difficult to do business with? They didn't have an answer for that either. So we start the process by designing a questionnaire that incorporates all of the top 1 through 7, including others, which all pertain to barriers to the increase in the sales volume. And each one of these statements in the questionnaire were tied directly into the alignment framework. Let's see what we did next. Well, after we collected all of the data, and it's survey driven, after we collected this data, we took the information and we processed it through this amazing, powerful, deep dive analytic tool that we use. There are 7 or 8 different graphical displays, all based on predictive analytics and algorithms. But let me show you the most powerful one that we used. In this particular model, the main thing is to increase the sales volume of this particular organization. Well, how do we do that? Using predictive analytics. Well, in this chart, the diagnostics selected 13, 44, and 5, and those were questions inserted in the survey. Those are the ones that were selected that if we improve the performance, the efficiency of those particular items, we're increasing the sales volume of the organization. So the leadership objective, the leadership solution, is to focus their attention on improving the performance of 13, 44, and 5, and moving it to the right side of the graph, to the place that's high importance and high performance. When we do this, we will be increasing the sales volume of this organization. Predictive analytics are simply amazing. The last tier of situational awareness is our new Pulse 4 cloud technology. It was created as an automated software system offering leaders, all leaders, with sophisticated, simple tools to self-manage and run their entire business without expensive consultants or any training. And in fact, just as an aside, if you use Pulse 4 the way it's intended, you can eliminate your annual employee engagement survey. So let's talk a little bit about Pulse 4. Pulse 4 is the way for leaders to lead their organizations to growth. It's an ongoing, continual information system that will keep leaders advised and informed as to what's going on within their organization every single day. The data is collected every day, it's uploaded into the cloud, and is presented as a dashboard every morning for every leader to see exactly what's going on in their organization. Now, let's be clear about the kind of information that we're collecting in the pulses. It is not lagging indicator information, it's not financial information, it's not yesterday's news. It's leading information in 4 separate categories. One is your customer category. It's a finger on the pulse of your customer to see how loyal they are. A way to listen to the customer, respond to the customer, and then improve their delight or their craving. The second is employees. It's a finger on the pulse of the level of engagement of their employees. This is where innovation happens in companies. As long as leaders listen, respond, and improve ways to engage and energize the employees, especially to give feedback. Thirdly, managers. What makes all of this work well is the development of world-class managers. So let's listen to how the managers are managing. And then finally, your business strategies. How well are these business systems functioning and integrated together? Your people know that. Your people will tell you when they are and tell you when they're not. And your objective is to make sure that all of these strategies are integrated and working in concert with each other, because when that happens, you exceed your financial expectations. So this is what your dashboard is going to look like. And by the way, it's only a dashboard, and it's followed by multiple other screens that give you direction and information. But for the moment, every manager, every leader will be able to come to their office in the morning, turn on their computer, and get this dashboard score of how well each of the 4 pulses are functioning. The data is collected every day, it's processed every night, so this data is fresh and as live as it can be. The notion behind the updated information is continuous improvement. And by the way, we saw in the predictive analytics, statement number 13, 5, and 44 were the solution to how to drive sales. When we build our pulses, we will insert questions 13, 5, and 44 into our survey statements. So you'll be able to manage and see how well the improvements are happening along those 3 criteria. Now, so let's take a look in summary as to what Pulse 4 really does. So at the top where it says Pulse 4, what Pulse 4 does is collect constant external customer information. Now that's based on the NPS model, but it's on steroids. We also collect constant daily information on managers, people, and strategy issues within the organization. So what does this do for us? It allows each of our world-class managers agile capability. They can see what's broken, they can understand what's broken, and they'll have the tools to fix what's broken right on the spot. So this model provides a continuous improvement feedback situation. Now, some of the tools, in addition to this dashboard, are reports to managers, internal coaching advice and assistance, strength and weakness, open-ended responses, and other analytics. And the process continues weekly, monthly, annually. One of the more powerful parts of the pulses are the open responses that are elicited. What does that do for leadership? It eliminates surprises. Every leader hates surprises. It also reduces risk. Now, for the sake of the leader, it reduces risk for job security or embarrassment. And also, it comports to the notion of your organization, your people will do no harm to the business. With this ongoing flow of information, you'll have that security to see what's happening every day. Now, the flip side is the human side. You're building a culture where people feel heard, where they contribute, and they stay connected. When you start to close these gaps and dysfunctions and people participate, you're creating a culture of organizational growth. The criteria is that leaders at all levels must listen and respond. Unless leaders listen and respond, nothing will help your organization out of disruption. Now, for those of you that might be interested in communicating this three-tier model to others, I put this framework in place for easier explanation. Number one, the common denominator that we're all looking for in our system is situational awareness. The knowledge, the ability to see what's dysfunctioning anywhere, everywhere, every day in your organization. Never be surprised again. The second tier is the diagnostic. The framework we use is the alignment framework. And from the alignment framework, we then insert that into a powerful diagnostics that provide two things. It provides the senior executive leadership with strategic oversight and the way to adjust the strategies of the business. It also provides for each individual manager who gets their own individual report the ability to convert from being a manager to a world-class leader using information and knowledge and situational awareness. Then comes our Pulse 4. That's ongoing. That's every single day. It's available and open. That's something that the client sends, manages, and works with. You put these together, you've got yourself a powerful, powerful model to align your organization for growth and profitability. George and I wrote a book. The book is called Back from the Brink. And Back from the Brink is the framework that is intended to lead organizations out of disruption. It's the three-tier framework that we just described. And the beautiful part and the supportive part of Back from the Brink is that it provides this roadmap, but it's based on solid principles that form the building blocks of any enterprise. I want to thank you for allowing me to take you on this journey on alignment, the diagnostics, and the pulses. I know that we have the new, modern, powerful, rapid solution for all CEOs to be led out of disruption. Anyway, if you have any further comments or you need information, please don't hesitate to reach out, contact me. The book can be acquired through Amazon. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. And we look forward to all of us being brought out of disruption.